I'm back, I didn't know if I would make it. And if I showed up, I thought I might just fake it. But it wasn't meant to be. I'm here being me. I don't know any other way. Oh, what can I say? I'm just a cat who likes to be myself. I'm just glad I wasn't nobody else, but hello, how are you? Glad you stopped on by. If you can remember, please try to subscribe, press like, leave a comment. I like to hear what you gotta say, and I always reply. I do my best anyway. 'Cause if I can do anything at all to make you come back and heed me when I call, it's alright. Real Joe Fingas show tonight. I know it's really today, but that didn't rhyme with alright. I wanna keep it tight. People say out of sight. Do they really say that anymore? The people I know do for sure. I know the kind of old in the rehab center. That's just a nicer word for convalescent home. In this day and age, I don't roam too far away from the convalescent home. Except that that's what I say. Except that that's what I say. Except a few things. A few things are wrong. I'm gonna be strong in my admonition. Oh, it's my ammunition. I ain't talking about bullets. I don't care if you got your weapon. It's just not for me, not for me, not for me. That doesn't mean it can't be for you. Here I am, the Real Joe Fingas Show, and you know what makes this the Real Joe Fingas Show is I just make stuff up as I go along for the most part. I do have some little, talking points from time to time, and I think about what's going to happen, but I don't really have to think too much about it because life happens for me. You know what I'm saying? It happens for me. It happens to me. Seems like sometimes it's happening against me. Sometimes I'm baffled. Sometimes I know what is up. But I got a question. My question is, what is up with Joseph Fingas Smith again? Why does he go on these tirades about me? Last thing at a little good in the worst of us, and I'm one of the worst of us? Oh, come on. I mean, really? I guess he ain't seen too many worst of us people to have me classified right there. I know, man. I know I ain't perfect, but let's talk about some of these things that he says that puts him maybe on a little bit of the worst scale himself. He talked about me the way I understood from his now I keep calling it a podcast because I listen to podcasts. I don't watch them, even though you can. But on his show that is sponsored by my channel, the Real Joe Fingers Show, basically has the not quite right Reverend Fingersmith, Joseph Fingersmith, right there, no relation, even though our names are very similar. And he casts aspersions upon me, and he implies that he needs to promote my PayPal because I'm charging him a fee for his show. That's not true. And I say, prove it. I say, find the records to prove that I am charging him a fee. Because I know him and his records. If he's handing me any money or showing in some way or another how he was helping me do stuff, it'd be in the newspaper. Oh, they don't have newspapers anymore. It'd be on some kind of, internet stuff. It'd be all over that. It'd be all in an internet paper, be in the Facebook, on Instagram. He'd be twittering up a storm. He'd be on his Twitter profile just trashing my name. And I'd be getting all kinds of hate, mail and stuff like that from what a jerk I was. I got a little bit of it already. Like, you really charging Fingersmith in order that he promote the goodwill and generosity and charity of your brother's institution? And I tell you emphatically, no. If he's getting any money, it's not going to my PayPal. If he's getting any money, it's not coming from his hand to mine. So first of all, no. And second of all, like that little bit of good is barely getting my brother to the emergency room. I'm not even going to go into that. I'm not going to go into that at all. I mean, it was so bad that my brother even came to my defense. Thank you. Thank you. And believe me, it's not often that happens. Most of the time, we've had a stormy relationship, my brother and I. And most of the time, I think he would just leave me hanging. Saying, you just get a taste of what it feels like. Or whatever. You don't taste what you feel, maybe. There is texture in the mouth. But you just see what it feels like. I can see what you feel. I can taste what you feel, I guess. It's all, the tactile senses are really relatable to all kinds of experience. That's what I got to say. Man, I'm telling you. I'm going to read a couple of things here. Oh. This was at a gig. I play gigs. Sometimes I play them outside of the studio. And this is called A Good Night. Because some people are saying, well, do you write anything about what's happening to you now? And yeah, I do. I write songs about it. And I got this, and I know I've also been, they like when I read from the writings that are in a notebook or in an actual book, or if I find some extracts or excerpts from things that St. Daniel or even Fingersmith or I've written. But this is on the phone, so it doesn't give it that sense of permanence. But this is called A Good Night. It's about a gig I had just a couple of days ago. Folks wanted to hear the blues last night. Yes, with the exception of the two hipsters making their monthly sit-down at the bar to drink, smug, smile, and go on about how I'm okay, but they prefer good music? Everyone seemed to enjoy my brand of down-home boogie. Though I went deep with some dark, keep my grave clean whiskey drinking shit, hoping it would take my critics down into their cups. It did. It worked. Everything seemed to work last night, like magic. My final set closed with a bit of New Orleans R&B vamping to a small crowd of active duty Air Force folk ready to stay up late because Monday's a federal holiday. Closing time, I pulled the money out of my tip hat and counted the pile of bills. I smiled, and I wanted to out loud acknowledge my gratitude for a night of enhanced creativity and profit. So I lifted the cash up towards the ceiling and whispered, "Thank you." It's not often both happen at the same time. Not for me, anyways. That's why it was a good night. Oh, and it got me thinking about the critics a little bit. And it got me thinking about my chief critic, the not quite right Reverend Dr. Joseph Fingas Smith. And, you know, he blames me for so many things, and then he steals from me. Because I know when he was prepping, and I try to stay away from his days here, his Mondays when he comes in and does his stuff. Try to stay away until the middle of the week or until he's long gone or something like that, just so I don't have to hear what he says, or so he doesn't get to hear what I said. But I know he heard me when I was talking about the blues jam, because he took my words and put them in his mouth about basically people who were not grateful to be up there on the blues jam, who wanted to nitpick about everything that we, the musicians up on stage with person after person, nitpick about everything we did wrong. You know? And we sit there and we, you know, basically they go out and tell people that we suck. You know? And we never say, no, we don't suck, you suck. We never say that because that's not etiquette. That's not polite. Everybody's trying their best. So when you get up there on that stage, nobody sucks, especially the house musicians who are trying to back you up. And that they don't know it's not a karaoke machine. We're not a karaoke machine. We don't even have charts. We don't even have tablets. We just try to wing it because it's supposed to be a blues jam. It's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be like, not even that, like, call it the blues jam for a reason, 'cause it's the blues and we jam. We ain't gonna play no Steely Dan or Tom Petty either. It's not that we don't like them, it's just that it's a blues jam. That's like me saying I wanna play a little monk. It's like me saying I wanna give it some funk. Well, you can do that with 3 chords maybe. But you ain't gonna go in into all that fancy bebop stuff most of the time. Even though when I was in my prime, I lay it down. But that's not what the blues jam's about. It's not about me showing off. No, it's about everybody getting up and doing their stuff to make themselves and everyone else sound as good as possible. So when you go to the 5 to the 4 and back down to the 1, you don't have to put them 2s, them 6s, the augmented sexes, not augmented sex, augmented 6, and all them 13ths. sharpened 11s. Well, that ain't gonna sound right. Let me show you. Now that's a nice chord, but that doesn't sound right with the blues. That's the 13th right there. That don't sound right with the blues usually. You can make maybe an exception for it. Now that might work, and that's the 11th. You might make that work. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that, and these diminished works all the time. It's like Otis Spann did it great. Well, people tell me the key, it's simple. Why they complicate the hell out of stuff? I said, what happened to keep it simple? Don't you think I'm doing it good enough? Well, people ask me, don't you know that? I look them straight in the eye and I say no. And they say, we're gonna play it anyway. This is how it goes. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's your free night in Tangier. A straight no chaser. Do you know any song by Everclear? I say now, don't you know this is a blues jam? Don't you know any blues? You say I always like the blues, but it's not the kind of music I can use. So I go in to a minor key, 'cause that's the one that feels the best to me when I ask myself, why's it always gotta be people like this? People like this. Oh. But you know it ain't really that bad, 'cause the blues about surviving. Believe me, this ain't hard. Watching those conniving folks try to weasel their way in. Now I'm exaggerating, it's not really that bad. I just got mad at Joe Fingersmith. He's doing the same thing I'm doing right now. Everybody, for the most part, treats me decent, treats me nice. I just want you to do it for the other people. Do it twice as much as you do it for me. All of a sudden, I'm worried it's not my place to have an opinion. think the blues all sound the same. It might be up to you. Play 'em different. 'Cause you put your soul in it, it's gonna change. Yes, sure enough will. I just don't want other people to feel bad. 'Cause you made them feel bad 'cause they don't know your song. That's not what it's all about up here. Up here. Up here. Y'all get the message? I'm trying to give the message. I don't get mad at anybody about this. It's just something that I understand to be the case sometimes. But I was talking about it. That's the whole point. I was talking about it. Now I'm going on the air with it, maybe saying things that I don't mean to, well, I mean to say, but I don't mean to offend. You know, it's just that we're up there trying to run things. It gets difficult sometimes because people have a different idea than we do of what they want. And believe me, I know this one thing I know every night that I can improve on my job as being like coordinator / MC / whatever. But you know, that's how it goes. But the other thing is when Fingersmith takes what I've said and uses it as the basis of his sermon and then trashes me, well, you know, what I'm doing when I'm talking about being on stage during the blues jam is basically I'm putting all my feelings about Fingersmith into that exposition, you know, into my not so eloquent riff on the blues. So I mean, that's how it is. How am I feeling otherwise? Let's find out, because I wrote this stuff over the course of the week. But that was cool. And even those, when I was talking about, it's good to have people who are not so crazy about me. I mean, I find it's good if somebody's like not that interested in what I'm doing or has some kind of criticism for me. Well, yeah, I'm going to get a little ticked off, but then I'll go home and I'll think about it. And, you know, try it on for size. This is another thing that sometimes gets me a little concerned. And what I'm trying to do here, I'll tell you what, is practice being a little more honest. That's what I'm trying to do here. Practice to be a little more spontaneous. Here's what I have to say. This is called Live Life. It's about a person I ran into. I can't hear a word she's saying, but she looks like she knows what she's talking about. Nodding her head, looking me square in the eye, patting, sometimes pounding, hand on the table for emphasis. Then she shouts, live life, live life. I understand. I'm glad I didn't turn her ramble off, didn't dismiss as another street crazy responding to voices, another mumbler letting the wisdom of the ages spill from her mouth like water splashing concrete. Just lucky a couple of drops bounced from the hard surface high enough to hit my ears. It wasn't much, just exactly what I needed. That's the blues right there, baby. Not much, just exactly what you need. You don't need as much as you think you need. You need exactly what the blues has to offer. That's my opinion about the blues jam. No more. My opinion about Fingersmith, you can probably figure out. So where else are we going with this today? I mean, where else am I going with this today? I don't know. This is the month of October. It's the month that I came to Florida. Little trouble with the law. I sang that song before. I don't know if I'm going to sing it again. Because, it details my experience coming here to Florida from California. And I'll tell you this is like in 1977 when I came from California to Florida, I went from the smog pit to, you know, a clear sky with white and gray and dark clouds sometimes. So I guess it wasn't a clear sky, it just wasn't smoggy. That was blue. And I marveled in the October weather. October in Northwest Florida, most of the time, is the most beautiful experience a person can have. And it's like I was an explorer going to Greenland, which is usually white with snow and ice most of the time. But I happened to run into that section that's green and verdant valleys and all kinds of stuff growing and lush and beautiful kind of green paradise. So I call it Greenland, like making the mistake, that it's not always green. And when I came to Florida, I thought every month was like this. Came to Northwest Florida, I thought every month was like October. I found out it wasn't. But I still had that first October to live through. It was wonderful. It was marvelous. And but it took me about I came to Florida on October 1st, 1977. So around October 15th, 16th, something like that, I was riding in a car. We took a 60-mile trip to go somewhere. I was riding a car with some people who were in the same halfway house I was in, because at that time I had gotten into some trouble, which is the reason why I came from California to Florida, and I had to take care of that trouble. And one of the conditions of the trouble is I had to be in a secure type of housing facility, that provided whatever kinds of treatment, counseling, monitoring I needed. And so one of the guys in that group had a car, and there was some function we were allowed to go to 60 miles down the road, and we're coming back. And nature called, and I said, "Hey, man, can you pull over? Because I got to relieve myself." I didn't say relieve myself. I said, "I got to piss." And he said, "Yeah, man, go ahead." So I got out of the car, went over to the dunes, because we're on what was called the island. And so we're surrounded by, there's water, not surrounded, but there's water on both sides. I guess surrounded, but there's bridges that get us to the mainland or whatever. I'm not technical about this, but all I know is I stood on some sand that was beachy sand, that I started to take care of my business, and it felt so good that I was so relieved. I looked up into the sky, and I almost fell over, leaning backwards so far, because I don't know if it was the first time I looked up in years, but I tell you what, it's the first time I'd seen the sky in a decade. Otherwise, because most of the time it was covered, smog covered the sky. And I saw the constellations, and I started pointing out the Big Dipper and Little Dipper and the North Star and all of these great, wonderful things that happen in the clear sky night without any interference from pollution. And it was wonderful. And I stood there for so long that the guy who was driving the car said, "Damn, Joe, get back in the goddamn car. We got to get back to the facility in time. We got to beat curfew. There's a curfew." So I went back, but every night when it was clear, which it was clear most nights, I went outside and I looked up and became an amateur astronomer again. Everything was so wonderful. And that's what I remember about my first days in Florida. And then I found out later that it gets a lot hotter than it is in October, that hurricanes come, because in that facility I sat through my first hurricane. And I was young enough to think this was a great adventure and not really think too much about the potential stress, damage, loss of property and life. And That could occur if you're not careful, because, you know, I might have had to stop some of the stuff I had done, but I was still young enough to be reckless and want to run around in wind and storm that could kill you. So that was fun too. And even the heat didn't bother me much. I figured I was in paradise. I figured I was where I needed to be. Home is wherever I hang my head, as Tom Waits would say. Oh, wait a minute. Long time ago, I wrote some words to this tune. Sounds kind of familiar. Oh, I won't ruin my conversation with telling you how it happened. Just say it happened. Let it go at that. I just lost a love. Yeah, that's right, I loved once. I loved hard, I loved good. Thought everything was right. Then one day, my love decided to leave me. Said goodbye instead of saying goodnight. So I felt alone, I felt lost. I wondered if my love was worth the cost. A broken heart and a damaged ego. I felt torn apart. Oh, so many of you know how it is to have love unrequited. Oh, love unrequited. Just played like a skipping record all through the night. Then I woke in the morning, I had my bearing. I was interested in sharing all I learned that night. 'Cause I need to love you. I needed to love you. I need to love you. I need to love. I need to love you. I need to love you. I need to love you. I need to love. I can't remember the exact words I thing I love about this YouTube video, I can make mistakes, let it go where it's gonna go. And I can't remember the actual word. Wait a minute, this is really weird. I can't remember the exact words I wrote down. I can't even say exact when you're around. But if I remember the gist of what I had to say, I think I could say it sort of this way. I can't get what I want, I get what I need. I know the Rolling Stones said it before, and I guarantee, yeah, they weren't the first to say it. They were just the first to put in a song, and I can convey it without doing anybody wrong, while having to pay the royalties, having to pay the price. 'Cause I can still sing this song and make it sound sorta nice when I say, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love. And all I can remember are these chords, the chorus of the words you just heard me sing to you. They don't sound that absurd, but anything I say right now might sound a little crazy. I would have kept those words in a better place if I wasn't so damn lazy. But I found out here, love don't always go the way I want my love to go. But that doesn't mean that this love is gone. The only thing it means is found a different way to carry on. I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love. Now watch this, y'all. The not quite Reverend Dr. Joseph Fingersmith will probably steal this chorus and say he gave it to me and make out some other kind of way in which I'm the villain of his sordid scheme and manipulation. But I'm not going to cut him off. No, I'm going to tell the nation what he's doing for my brother, what he's doing for the world is how far outweighs any kind of evil he can perpetrate in my name. My name ain't that great anyway, so I claim my stake. I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love you, I need to love. Yeah, baby, yeah. I don't know what I meant by that other than it don't matter today. I'm gonna, like I always do, and this might be part of my manipulation, but I'm gonna take the bigger stand and say, okay, whatever. And I promise you, if you send any donations to the Real Joe Fingered Show via the PayPal /JFingers, he's gonna get paid. I'm gonna pay Fingersmith. I'm gonna give him half of the money because he does half of the shows. He does half the work. I give him half of the money. If you don't send any money, I give him half of nothing. I give him half of nothing, you know? And the thing is that if I would, now this is what I need to do. If I would take half my time I spend worrying about what that shyster preacher has to say about me, always throwing this stuff in when all he's got to do is preach is preach, teach is teach, you know what I mean? And I beseech you all to tell him that this is all that needs to be done. And you can continue to subscribe, get notices when we whichever show you like the best. And yeah, and I heard him. Well, go ahead. Go ahead, y'all can press that little button. You make a comment, press like, subscribe, and tell us how much you like Dr. Joseph Fingersmith. Just tell us. It's all right. Sure, I know I just come in here and just make up songs, but I make them up. They might not have a great lyrical value, but most of the time it's comprehensible. Most of the time you understand where I'm coming from. I just like to get up here and talk and do my thing, and I'm trying to get better. And I think sometimes I am getting better. All the glad handers around here tell me I'm getting better. I don't know why they're telling me that, except maybe I'm getting better. I hope I am. If I'm not, you tell me. You tell me if I'm not. Maybe. You know what? I'm going to play this song anyway, even though I think I play it too much. 77 was a year. This is what we play at blues jams, y'all. I come down to Florida, 77 was a year. I come down to Florida, 77 was a year. I said goodbye, California, I'm gonna stay right here. I left the Golden State, a little trouble with the law. Left the Golden State, a little trouble with the law. Stuck out my thumb, I hopped the freight. Blue sky, freedom's all I saw. I walked the beach all day. At night I slept between the dunes. Walked the beach all day, yeah. At night I slept between the dunes. Heaven on earth is what I'd say. Beneath the sun, the stars, the moon. I turn myself in. I beg for mercy from the court. I turn myself in. I beg for mercy from the court. The incompetent prosecution says we got nothing to report. Thank my lucky stars that night. They said, it's not too late. Thank my lucky stars that night, yeah. They said, it's not too late. You come this far to make it right, right here in the Sunshine State. I come down to Florida, 77 was a year down to Florida, baby. 77 was a year I said goodbye, California. I'm gonna stay right here. I gotta take a minute to think about this Fingersmith situation. I hate to admit it bothers me. I just don't have a trunk to put my ego in, I guess. But I'll be back next week. Thank you all very much. Peace out. I guess that's what they say.